Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new season of the Words of Heart podcast. I am your host, Dion Sanchez. I am happy to be back on the airways with you. And to kick off this new season of season 4, I have the immense privilege of speaking and collaborating with Abigail, host of the Manic Pixie Weirdo podcast. Thank you for joining me, Abigail.
Thank you so much for having me, Dee.
Absolutely. So, when it comes to this podcast, we discuss many topics, and it is very rare that I push the envelope on certain issues. But an issue that has severely affected us as of recently in this world is recent gun violence related to shootings such as Texas, and if you want to go further back, Sandy Hook Elementary School. So Abigail here is going to discuss with me guns, violence, having a gun, and just the immense effect it has on our society. So Abigail, please kick us off into this discussion.
Okay, well, I don't think that you can really talk about guns without talking about gun safety too. I think that it's a really, really important and oftentimes neglected side of owning a gun. Is the gun safety. And please do not quote me on this, but I'm not, because I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think that it is required for you to have any sort of gun safety course in order to own a gun. Right now, I think that you can just own a gun without having to take any sort of gun safety course. And I personally know that I would feel a lot more comfortable if in order to own a gun, it was required to take a gun safety course as well, because it would, I think it would help a lot with just sort of negligent deaths that don't need to happen, because a lot of deaths that happen from gun violence are due to negligence and not knowing or not caring or not taking gun safety precautions seriously. What do you think?
I couldn't agree more in regards to a gun safety course. Honestly, that hadn't even crossed my mind when deciding to discuss this topic. I just know that it's been in the news as of recently, and many people have debated about it in regards to guns and laws being more stricter in regards to the elementary school shooting. And if I'm not mistaken, another shooting took place several weeks after that as well, which put people in an uproar as a result of gun violence and just the fact that people need to take more precautions. In regards to this discussion, I did look up some statistics, which I'm going to share with my audience and you before. So in 2020, the most recent year for which complete data is available, about 45,222 people died from gun-related injuries in the US, according to the CDC. That figure includes gun murders and gun suicides. So, in regards to what you mentioned about gun safety, that definitely should be considered an option in regard to that statistic alone. And I'm sure that doesn't even include the related gun statistics going on in 2020. Well, it may possibly, but I don't know how the system works in regards to recording that, but there's probably plenty of other gun-related incidences which have yet to be discovered, unfortunately. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So in regards to the gun safety course, I'm sure you are familiar with the gun shooting that happened in Texas and what happened to the elementary school, of which 19 children and 2 adults were killed in regards to that shooting. There was recent footage, and again, my audience, I don't push the envelope often, but this does need to be discussed. There was footage that was released, I don't know if you watched it or not, of the officers, of which they had the opportunity to investigate or stop the shooter, but were, for some unknown reason, from the footage that was revealed, decided not to engage until there was a go ahead from one of the senior officers. What was your opinion, or did you have a thought in regards to from seeing that footage? What was your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I believe that it took them over an hour to do anything to stop it. And I believe that the reasoning was because there was a discrepancy in the chain of command, as far as like who was in charge, what was going on. I know that eventually what ended up happening was it was a Border Patrol agent, sniper, that ended up taking out the shooter of that Uvalde shooting. And I mean, the more information that comes out about this, the like worse it gets, kind of a thing. I think that it was a severe, there was a severe lack of empathy. I feel like there was a severe lack of care and compassion that was given in this circumstance. And I don't think that we are going to have all of the answers right now. We may never get all of those answers just because of the way of like the chain of command and everything went down. But I am, I was equally as frustrated as everyone else, especially given the fact that it was done right before school was going to be let out. And I mean, it was literally days before school was going to be let out, and it happened. So my condolences to everyone who lost a child. I can't even imagine what you're going through. I, oh my gosh, I can't even, wow, that just breaks my heart for you.
Absolutely. And I can't begin to imagine the effects and downward effects or domino effects that have taken place as a result of this shooting. Children who went into a school which is known as a safety forum to color, read books, maybe pass notes in class. I'm sure that's still a thing. Just the I'm sure there's a word that I'm not sure how to place, but just a freedom of innocence, um, and that was taken away instantly. And I just can't fathom how precious life is as a result of that. Those children who probably could have been doctors or lawyers, or just sky's the limit on what they could have been or what their life was before them in the future, was no longer possible. So I truly, truly, my heart goes out to all of those families who have been affected in regards to the Texas shooting on May 24th, and any shooting for that matter, Sandy Hook. Many people have brought up that event as of recently as a result of this. And I understand the need to protect yourself. I'm not going to disregard that. I understand that, but there is a way to go about it. And in regards to the incident that happened on May 24th, um, from my own opinion, that was immense stupidity. In regards to how it went down, in that hour they could have prevented so many deaths as a result. Um, I can't imagine going back into that school in the fall, which it's August now, so schools will be resuming soon. Just to go back into that school and have no uncertainty now for the students, the faculty, just
Well,
utter fear.
the
Yes,
trauma.
trauma, like that's permanent because of the result of that incident. I'm gonna be honest, I'm getting a little emotional because the gun safety course you recommended should be taken into consideration in regards to. I'm getting choked up because there's so many ways this could have been avoided, and regardless of who was in charge, someone should have had the audacity to engage.
Yeah, that's like my husband said, there's a time and a place for you to show up and be present and for you to do your job. And that opportunity came and went and nothing happened. So I mean, it's hindsight, I think, is 2020. in a situation like this, and in a situation like all of the shootings that happen across this country on a daily basis, because it is a daily basis
Yes.
thing that happens. And, you know, I think it blows my mind a little bit that we are in 2022, and this is like, we're still trying to deal with these kinds of issues and these problems that, to be quite frank, are an epidemic just that plague our country. And I don't know what the best course of action would be. I don't know what the swiftest course of action would be. I do know that something needs to be done, and something needs to be done very quickly. And especially since, children have been murdered in cold blood. So, yeah.
Yes, something does need to be done. In regards to that, the gun safety course, maybe I should petition that. Someone petition that to our political system. But yes, gun violence, unfortunately, aside from the statistics I just shared, has been going on for many decades. I'm only 26, but it's gone on far before that. And it's just really saddening. If I'm not mistaken, there was no, I have my facts clear on this one. There was a gun shooting or invasion, I believe that was the right term, on the state capitol in regards to our new president, soon to be 2 years ago or a year ago.
Oh, the coup?
Yeah, the coup. I'm sure guns were involved in that coup, and there's many opinions on that, but the fact of the matter is, it shouldn't have occurred. But again, that incident in Texas, all of these are in connection to guns. And though
the
there's
common denominator is guns.
Common denominator, yes, a common denominator, unfortunately. From my own standpoint, from what I've watched, probably one of the best options, particularly if you're in a household in a not so good neighborhood. I mean, I lived on the south side. There's probably a gunshot going off every hour, I'm gonna be honest. If you're in a neighborhood of any kind, and have some reason for protection, I do recommend locking it away without children within reach. Plain and simple. Want to go to gun shooting range, hunt deer, food, all of those stuff that is perfectly normal in society, that is fine, nature, but I strongly recommend not having it around children. Keep it in a locker, a combination, something technologically that can stow it away without children being able to access it.
Yes, and I also think that if you are going to have guns around children, there is a time. I'm not saying arm a 5-year-old. Right. I'm saying teach your children proper gun safety when they are of age, when they are a little bit older. If you even want to start at like 10, like whatever, pick an age. But I do think that, teaching your children proper gun safety, how to use a gun in a proper way, in a respectful way, understanding that this is a very powerful weapon, and teaching them how to be cautious and what it can do possibly, and the limits to it, as well as the far-reaching implications and consequences that it can have. I think that's very, very important. If you are going to have a gun around children, that needs to be taught. That needs to make that in the household. Unfortunately, that's not something that you can like mandate. Right. I do think, though, that it is something that if you are going to have a gun around a child, then when they become old enough, then they need to be educated as
Yes.
best as you can. Education, education, education. Educate them on all of the aspects and all of the facets of using a weapon like that.
Yes. I've never gotten this emotional on a topic before. Yes, educate, inform, protect, all of those apply, but please keep in mind to this discussion, my listeners and whoever is listening, please educate, inform, and do whatever you can to properly enforce gun safety. Do your research, stow it away, and at the proper time, perhaps educate your children or educate anybody else for that matter. Unfortunately, I don't believe this is mandated yet, but it is accessible and or easy for someone to come across a gun. As often as we like to think it's not, based on the recent events, this kid was 18 years old. I don't know if that's a fact.
17, 18. He was if he was of legal age, he was barely of legal age.
Yeah, he was barely of legal age to probably even drink. I'll just even go into that logic. So please inform, educate, do your research, because at the end of the day, we're all living in this world. We don't want any more deaths. We don't want any more blood. We just want to live in a peaceful habitat and society. We all don't have to like each other, although I would love that because that's who I am, and I'm sure Abigail would as well. But just don't bring gun violence or a gun into the situation. Just put it away, educate, enforce, inform your children when they're of the right age. Just prevent more deaths. That's all I'm trying to get at. We all have this world that we live in. We want to actually live it. We want to continue living this world. We don't want to end this world. We want to continue living it in peaceful, that's not a word. Habitually, I'm sure that's not a word either.
No, habitually is a word. It is.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Abigail. Just want to coexist. Bottom line. So, I have no other thoughts, honestly. Abigail, what about you?
I mean, we could go on for as long as you want. It doesn't matter to me. There's all different kinds of like points that can be made. But I think that the big point and the driving home point is education, and especially when it comes to gun safety. Like you've got to make sure that that is like at the forefront of your mind if you choose to own a weapon of that magnitude, and teach your kids how to properly stow, store, clean, and use a weapon of that size and that magnitude, because it is a very powerful weapon, and it can do a lot of damage, and there can be a lot of consequences that happen when using a weapon like that. So be safe out there, and try to make sure that if you do have a weapon like that, that it is being used properly, and it is in a safe space where everyone feels like they are in a safe space in order to use it, kind of a thing. And God forbid you have to use it,
Yes.
last resort.
Yes. Last resort, absolutely. This would be the part where I get to that icebreaker segment, which is my favorite part because it loosens up the mood, which this topic is pretty serious, but just as important to discuss. So I believe you're familiar with it if I'm not sure, but this part is fairly simple. It's fun. So I'll start with the icebreaker question. If you had to come up with a title for where your life is at this precise moment, looking lovely as ever, what would the title be? And if you can even explain why, that would be even better.
I'm a mess. That's the
Oh,
title,
you're
is I'm a
not.
mess. I'm a mess. That's the whole title. I'm so behind on everything. I'm frantically playing catch up. It's a good busy. It's a very good busy, but it's busy and it's stressful. But yeah, I'm a mess. So that would be the title.
Mess. We're all messy. That's just part of our DNA in some way, I'm sure. But that's a lovely title, and everyone can relate to. My hair is a mess. I washed it, so I can understand the messiness in that
It
fashion.
looks great. What are you talking about?
Everybody says that, even though there's no product in it. My title, which is not as relatable as yours or as cool, but my title, which should come to no surprise to fellow listeners of this show, which is being a warrior for change. That has become my mantra. It has not changed since 2020. It will never change, I'm sure, to be quite honest, because it's 2022. I've overcome a lot in my life. I have gone through a lot in my life. I'm still going through things in my life, and it's just symbiotic to my journey and where I am. And it just represents where my life is at this precise moment, and is continuing to be at that moment in time and moving forward.
I like that. I like that a lot for you. That it's very fitting.
Thanks, Abigail. And this is where we get to my most favorite part. To new listeners, you're going to enjoy this game. To other listeners of the show, you know which game I'm about to get into, and that is the lovely icebreaker game. This game is called Song Association. Abigail, you're very familiar with this, I'm sure, but I will reiterate how the game works. I give you a word pertaining to a song, an actual song in history. You can either sing it, rap it, yodel it, whatever vocal capacity you have to pronounce this word, you must do. You cannot make up a song. You cannot be the name of an artist. It has to be an actual song. I have not changed this game in the past 4 seasons of doing this now. I'm not going to change the rules of the game now. So again, I give you a word. It can either be in the song title or in the lyrics. So you have a loophole if it's in the lyrics. However, and this is where it's fun for me, your host, you do not have the luxury of time. You have 15 seconds from the time I give you the word to sing it, rap it, yodel it, whatever vocal capacity you have in that 15 seconds before the timer goes off. So, Abigail, if you are ready, I'll be happy to kick us off.
Okay, let's go.
All right. So the first word is heart.
Heart, like the band. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Why am I so blanking right now? Get it together. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. I failed epically. I couldn't think of anything. Nothing came to me. This is terrible.
Well, there's 2 more words. And to listeners of previous episodes, you know everybody does not always pass this game, which is what makes it fun. So, songs you could have given was My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion, which is kind of similar to my name, except I can't sing. There is Don't Go Breaking My Heart.
Oh my gosh. I can think of like so many now.
Yep. That's another. I can't think of another at the moment. Quit Playing Games with My Heart by the Backstreet Boys, I believe. Yes. But we can keep going into heart trivia all day long, which is awesome because that's the name of my show. But on to the next word. So the next word for you, maybe I should change it. Nah, I'm not gonna do that.
No, don't do that.
So the next word is Words.
Words, 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 words. In a song?
Mm-hmm.
Words to live by. Oh my gosh. I can't. This is what I'm so bad at this. Word association is not my thing. I'm so bad.
Abigail.
I know. I fail epically.
Oh, dang it, I missed the timer. To give you an example, see, I'm kind. I give examples after the
Yeah.
fact. There is the song More Than Words by the band Extreme. I know cover versions of it because I'm cooler like that. But I'm not
Yeah,
to
you are.
not to diminish that genre. I'm fairly versed in all types of music. But on to the last word. This should be interesting. Because no one has able to figure out a word or a song to this word in the other recordings for the season. So we shall see.
Okay.
So the final word, Abigail, is shine.
Shine?
Mm-hmm.
You are my sunshine. My only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. I win. I did it. Yeah, it works. It totally works.
It does work. It does.
Because it's in the name and it's in the lyrics.
Yes, it works. That was not the song I was thinking of. That was impressive. I was thinking of a Jesse McCartney song when I put that word down.
Hey, that's yes. Good, solid choice.
Abigail, we can keep discussing music all day long. I can keep tricking you into music. We can do plenty of stuff, but according to Zoom, unfortunately, we're out of time in a few short seconds. So before we wrap up this wonderful kickoff to the new season, please share with my audience in a quick second, I guess, to where they can find your podcast, what is your podcast, and just the awesomeness of you in general.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Dion, for having me. This is so fun. I always love coming on your show. My name is Abigail, and I'm the host of the Manic Pixie Weirdo podcast, where we talk about all the different kinds of relationships that you can have in your life, from math to Marvel to casinos to pretty much anything that you can have a relationship with. That's what we talk about. Mental health, anything. And you can find me anywhere that you can get a podcast: Apple, Spotify, Pandora, or the Instagram and TikTok are the_protonmail.com.
Awesome. I'll be sure to mention that in the episode notes because it got all glitchy. But thank you so much, Abigail, for kicking off this new season with me. I can't think of anybody I want to discuss such an important topic. Thank you so much. And of course, I'll get in touch with you as always after this. So thank you truly for joining me. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I love coming on your show.
Awesome. So to my audience, that is the first episode of the new season that is over. Please tune in and kick off many new episodes. And we are just getting started, truly. If you want to tune in to the new season, here's the ways to do that. You can listen to us on Facebook at the Words of Heart Podcast. We're also on YouTube and wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify, and Google. If you want to listen to any exclusive episodes before they air, you can find us on Patreon as well. So thank you, Abigail, for joining me to kick off the new season. Again, I'm your host, Dion Sanchez. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay protected. Keep in mind this discussion and the importance of it. We all want to live happy and healthy lives, and I want you to continue living your life and tuning into these episodes I have before you. So again, stay healthy, stay safe, as always. And if you're listening to it from the moon, I come in peace. I still want intergalactic broadcasts to happen in this season and beyond. But until then, I'm your host, Dion Sanchez. Stay healthy, stay safe, and until next time, bye.